are trying to constantly build upon previous shows, and basically just trying to keep outdoing every other show that we've done, pushing everything to a new level, pushing the limits of how we can display our work in such a small gallery space.
That was Sean Schroth, a senior studio art major at the University of the District of Columbia. Schroth conceived the Curious Art Show and organized and curated it with the help of his classmate Chris Prosser. In the show, quick response codes, known as QR codes for short, hung on the walls in place of the pieces of art they represented. QR codes are the black and white pixelated barcodes that have become ubiquitous in recent years. Typically, they're used by companies to offer coupons and discounts or provide customers with information on new products and services. But at the exhibit, the codes were used to showcase artistic disciplines ranging from illustration to photography. Professor Anthony Gongora, who teaches the interdisciplinary art class at UDC, said he thought Schroth's idea for the interactive exhibit was so strong and innovative that he made it into a class project.
We had imagined that there'd be a lot of interaction between people, and I think that has been happening. People are uploading the images and the films onto their smart devices and then looking at them individually and then with each other. And that's what we'd really hoped, that not only would there be a nice exhibition of art, but a really nice moment for community and engagement.
Francis Stevenson and Imshai Dash are English majors at UDC and came to the exhibit's opening reception together. Stevenson scanned a series of illustrations done by Quentin Blackman, which she interpreted as a story. She was so intrigued by the illustrations that she would scan a code, look at the picture, and rush over to Dash to show her what she had seen.
I felt like I was following a story. So there were maybe 3 pictures that looked similar to me on one wall, and I was trying to make out the story. So I kept going back and forth, switching and whatnot, trying to make out the story. It was really, really interesting. It was like a samurai.
Blackman actually had 4 illustrations in the show of a character named Daimyo. Daimyo is the main character of an untitled cartoon Blackman is working on. Blackman said he was surprised by the QR codes when he came into the show, thinking the codes would only be used to advertise the art show, not to link to the pieces selected for the exhibition. He said the QR codes favor some mediums more than others.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's good as far as, like, I think for the work of, like, video art or maybe like 3D or something like that, but it's like as far as like the actual artwork, like paintings and drawings, I feel like those could have been posted instead of more using the technology wise for that, because like I said, you can't really get the feel, the actual image and what the person used and, you know, the actual detail they put into it.
Stevenson and Dash were surprised by the QR codes as well.
I actually didn't know that it would be a scan code show. I found out the moment I walked in.
Well, I didn't know either, but even for them to advertise it like that, it's just not the way, you know, everybody when they have an event at this school, you just see a flyer and it's sort of ragtaggle and pinned to a board. So to see it like that, I knew that it was tied in some kind of way to, you know, you have to scan it on your phone. But it's a great opportunity for the artists to go super viral, super fast.
The idea of technology and a kind of digital reality and the internet is all profoundly changing the way that we exist within the world. And so the idea of taking the art off the wall and putting it on your smart device and having the opportunity to return to it over and over is just a unique idea.
Schroth saw the use of the quick response technology as a social experiment.
I thought it would be awesome to mess with people, to make something that would challenge people's perceptions of how you can participate in the world of art. That most of the time you go into a gallery and it's, you know, you see like a specific artist or it's a genre or a medium that's on display. But by doing something like this, it was awesome that we could incorporate everything.
Cassie Duvall used several artistic disciplines to produce the pieces she had featured in the show. She used stop-motion animation and film to make Heartbeat, a short film about a young woman whose heart has been broken. Duvall stitched together the bodice and skirt for her sculpture called Minoan Snake Goddess Barbie, which she made for her World Art History class.
We had to choose like a period in history and do a visual piece to represent it, and I chose Minoan culture. Obviously, we went over Minoan art. And I chose to focus on the Noah snake goddess and the women of the culture in particular because I thought it was interesting that their breasts are bared. So.
Shroth had photography and film work featured in the show. A photograph from his personal collection called Swagger and the Beast was one of the pieces featured.
Swagger and the Beast is a studio shot of my friend Brian, who has this awesome mane of hair. So it's kind of got this, Beauty and the Beast type mane. And he just, in the shot, I was just like, I want you to just look mean, because he's not a mean person, and it just came across that way. Like, perfect shot. I only took like 2 shots, and that was it.
One of Shroth's films featured in the show uses stop motion to bring a hot dog to life just before it gets microwaved.
I used to draw a comic book for this character that I always wanted to animate, and it's based on a song that my friend and I had written called Microwaves Radiate My Hot Dog. And then I started kind of playing with the idea of drawing this hot dog character. It was really simple, and I'd never gotten around to actually hand drawing the animation, and this project kind of presented a good way for that, for me to let him out of the box.
Shroth said he thinks his classmates were confused by the concept at first. He had to give them a crash course on the quick response technology and how it's being used around the world.
After actually, because initially you hear it and you're like, it was exciting, it sounds like so cool, but after thinking about it and, sort of like trying to go through the logistics and troubleshoot, I was like, how is that, how would that work? How would it still be accessible to everybody? Because everybody doesn't have smartphones nowadays. We actually have another classmate who does not. He has a flip phone still. So how would he experience the work? But then talking to Sean, he basically pointed out that it sort of forces people to interact, which I like.
I had to start very basic and be like, okay, do you guys know what a QR code is? And kind of build from there.
Despite his initial confusion over how the show would be executed and reservations over how some of the work was displayed, Quentin Blackman enjoyed the show overall.
I think it was just fun. It was just a fun experience to me. It's probably one of the coolest things I've probably been to as far as like the art shows here.
Reporting for the UDC Free Voice, this is Drew Costley.